have a very big announcement to me. I think it's been many years, I hear 10 years, maybe more, where Jeff Van Drew, highly respected. In fact, I didn't know as a Democrat how you could have won in that district. I know the district very well, but that is a great tribute to you. But Jeff will be joining the Republican Party, and we were very fortunate. He voted our way yesterday, as you probably know, and we had a totally unified party. I don't think there's ever been a time where the Republican Party was so united. But Jeff will be joining the Republican Party, and I really, to me, it's a very exciting announcement. I think, Kevin, you said it was about 10 years since that's happened.
Yeah.
And I don't even know who the last one was. It would seem to be it was even more than that, but it's a big deal.
It's a very big deal because he's going from the majority to the minority. And he normally doesn't go that way.
Yeah, but he's very smart because he knows it's not going to be the minority for long. I have a feeling we're going to do very well in 2020 and November 3rd to be exact. Get out and vote. But Jeff, thank you very much. It's a great honor.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Please.
Thank you.
Would you like to say something?
So I have a few words, and I usually never, ever, I don't read speeches, and this won't be very long, I promise you, Mr. President, but I had a few bullets. There's a few points I really wanted to make today. And I would start with how this started. I've been a Democrat for a lot of years, and I actually had a meeting with somebody about 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, and the individual was a local county chairman in the Democratic Party. And he sat down and he says, I just want to tell you something. And he said, I want to tell you that you can't vote against impeachment. I said, what do you mean I can't vote against impeachment? He says, you can't vote against impeachment. You will not, I have 8 counties in my district. You will not get the line. You will not get the county. I will do everything to prevent that from happening and everything to destroy you. This is a pretty young guy, too.
Yeah.
He was pretty
Wise
gutsy.
guy.
And it kind of hurt because for years I have given everything that I could to my people in my district. And you know, Mr. President, you asked why I win. Truthfully, because I'm a crazy man, and when people have a problem, when they need something, when we want to help them, I had the best staff in the world, good people around me, and we do everything that we can to make it better. And that kind of hurt. Right. And it kind of made me think a little bit, is this what I really want to do? Because there were other times in my life when I thought about this. I thought about it when I did legislation, actually it was in the state senate. And I don't know if this is going to be relatable or not, but I want to say it anyhow because I've always wanted to just mention this because I think it's important in a way. This was not a complex bill. It was not something that was, very difficult to understand. It isn't intellectually stimulating to some people, I understand. But I did 2 bills. And one of them, it's unusual for New Jersey, would allow in any public or private building to have "In God We Trust" on the wall. And the second one was that you could fly the American flag wherever you wanted to, however you wanted to, as long as it was respectful. And I thought these were wonderful bills. I mean, I thought everybody was going to be, this is just a great thing. And I had some very progressive, and not all Democrats, but these were really progressive Democrats that came to me and said, we're really disgusted with you. And I said, why? Making such a big deal about the flag. The flag's just not that big a deal. In God We Trust is not that big a deal, and you shouldn't even mention his name. And I was shocked. I was shocked. We put him up anyhow, and we did what we wanted to do, but it really...
It's a very Republican thing, by the way.
I know.
You're not going to find any one of us that, I can tell you, Kevin, Mike, I think you're okay with it, right?
And I think most folks should be okay with it.
The whole country should be okay with it.
You're right. I talk about American exceptionalism. This is the greatest country on the face of the earth. I started out as not a wealthy kid, had the opportunity to work hard, got into dental school, graduated, and my God, I'm sitting here next to the President of the United States. That's unbelievable. That's America. So I don't want anybody to ever tell me that there isn't American exceptionalism. I don't want anybody to ever say that this is the same as every other country in the world, because it is not. It is not. And you know that, and I know that, and hopefully everybody in this room knows that. And again, from certain groups of people that represented certain parts of the party, I was criticized, and they said, this country is the same as every other country, and there is no such thing as American exceptionalism. I'm a capitalist. Socialism, in my opinion, has no place in the United States of America, and I think everyone should know that. I believe that this country can afford people opportunity and give them that opportunity so that they can succeed, and we all should know that as well. I love bipartisanship. Do you know that I've even had times, quite frankly, being a Democrat, again, not from all folks, there's some middle-of-the-road folks, but from some of these extreme folks that they said bipartisanship is a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing because it's going to make you more like a Republican. Again, I don't believe that. I don't think you do. I believe in what you're doing with the economy. It's a better, stronger economy. I
A
believe
new
it's
record
gonna even
today,
get
by the
better.
way. It's up 125 points today, so your 401Ks are way up, but a new record today, Jeff, so that's great.
And thank you for that. I believe in the new Green Deal is something that we should never, ever even think about doing. I don't even know how anybody could bring that up. We can have a strong and good environment, and we can have a good economy at the same time, and that's something that I think Republicanism represents. Lower taxes, balancing a budget, honoring our police, our fire, our rescue, our veterans, our soldiers. These men and women, I want to tell you one quick story. Chris will have a picture of it. He's, like I said, he's a Marine. An older gentleman, and is he a Marine too, that stood out there? He's a Marine, right? An older gentleman, when he heard I announced, in the cold, came in front of my office and stood out there holding the American flag for
Oh,
12
that's
hours
great.
in honor of
Wow.
it. It was an amazing thing. And not quite the length of time people wait for you,
That's
but
okay.
that was still pretty neat.
That's okay. They won't do that if you're a Democrat, I can tell you right now.
So,
Wouldn't go well.
I guess what I say is, I believe that this is just a better fit for me. This is who I am. It's who I always was, but there was more tolerance of moderate Democrats, of blue dog Democrats, of conservative Democrats, and I think that's going away. Two more things I want to say. One, you have my undying support,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
and always,
And by the way, same way,
thank you.
I'm endorsing him, okay? We're endorsing him. I can't speak for these two gentlemen, but I can say I'm endorsing him.
Thank you.
How do you feel about that, Mike? Are you
You
okay?
have my support.
Thank you, thank you,
You have
Mr.
my
Vice
support
President.
as well.
We're together.
Thank you, Leader.
Thank you.
And the last thing I will say, one of my heroes, and he's always hung in my office, I have a bipartisan wall that has a lot of different people on there, Ronald Reagan. And when he said, I didn't leave my party,
Right.
my party left me.
That's true. That's what he said.
And I'm saying the same
He
thing.
was a Democrat, and he moved over, and he said exactly those words. It's fantastic. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you very much. Beautifully done. Thank you. Mike, do you have anything to say?
Well, I just want to say welcome to the Republican Party.
Thank you.
Congressman, it's an honor to share this moment with you, with the President of the United States, and with the Republican leader, with your team, and their family, as well as I know another public official from New Jersey that'll be following your lead. And
That's right.
but as I told you before, I just want to tell you how grateful we are for your voice of reason and common sense in the days leading up to your decision. You showed personal and political courage, and I know the people of your district will be as grateful as we are today for your leadership and for the decision you've made, and we look forward to serving with you together and working with you on behalf of New Jersey and America for many years to come.
Thank you, Mr. Vice
Good.
President.
Thank you, Mike. Kevin?
Well, we just want to welcome you to the party, but more importantly, if there's anybody else that feels like you, if there are other people out there that feel this new socialist Democrat wing of the party has left them behind, join with us, because everything you talked about is an American issue, and it shouldn't have to be debated, whether there's a flag or God or others. And so we've worked together even when you were on the other side of the aisle. It's nice to have you on this side now too.
Thank you.
And you just changed our number to 18. We only need 18 more to be the majority,
Yeah.
and I think we'll do that
We're
soon.
going to do very well. We're way up in the polls, and we've gone up more, I think, proportionately than we have ever gone up in the last 2 weeks, and we're honored. Now I understand they're playing games. They don't want to put in their articles, their ridiculous, phony, fraudulent articles, and I think they're not allowed to do that. Here it's unconstitutional and a lot of other things, but they don't want to put them in because they're ashamed of them, because it's what they've done is wrong, and it's bad for the country, very, very bad for the country. We're trying to get USMCA done. We're going to get that done, I think, pretty quickly. We have our great deal with China. China's already started to buy with the farmers and with the manufacturers. Tremendous amounts of money are being spent back in the United States, and the farmers are happy. They had to put up with a lot, but we took care of them out of the subsidies that we were getting, out of the tariffs that we were getting. But China's now buying very big in the farm belt and in the manufacturing belt also. They're spending a lot of money, and I said it was going to happen, and it happened, and we're going to get a lot more. They want to keep going. They're still paying tremendous amounts of tariffs, and they'd like to have the tariffs reduced, and we'll see if we can get a second part of the deal. But the USMCA, the combination of those two deals will be the two greatest trade deals. You'll never see anything like it. So we've done very much what we said. You know, Jeff, we rebuilt our military. We spent almost $2.5 trillion on the military. When we came in, the military was totally depleted. I will say the Democrats did not help. They're not into the military at all. And we spent $2.5 trillion. We have new planes. We have new everything right now. Much of it's coming over the next year, but within a year we'll be in a position that we've never been in terms of equipment, and the military will be as strong as it ever was, proportionally, maybe stronger. So it's been an amazing period of time, and to have you as a tremendous asset for the party. And again, thank you very much.
Thank
We're
you.
with you all the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
Tremendous honor. Thank you.
President, can you speak personally for a moment and just tell us, what does it feel like to be the third president in U.S. history to be impeached?
Well, I don't feel like I'm being impeached because it's a hoax. It's a setup. It's a horrible thing they did. They happened to have a small majority, and they took that small majority and they forced people. And, you know, they said, oh, I watched Pelosi out there saying, oh, no, we don't want to talk to anybody. They put the arm on everybody. They tried to get them to do what they had to do. Many of those people were like Jeff, where they didn't want to vote that way. But it doesn't feel, to me, it doesn't feel like impeachment. Last night I said it. We had a great time last night. The room was packed. Thousands of people couldn't get in. A section that really is a pretty much 50-50 section in terms of Democrat, Republican. We had, every one of those people is voting for Trump Pence, every one of them. And it's Michigan, an important state. We brought back tremendous amounts of business, tremendous car companies coming in, everything else. And I'll tell you, I was up there and I was thinking about it. I actually said it. It doesn't feel like impeachment. And you know what? It's a phony deal. And they cheapen the word impeachment. It's an ugly word, but they cheapen the word impeachment. That should never again happen to another president. And I think you'll see some very interesting things happen over the coming few days and weeks. But to me, all I look at, we have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We've never done so well. Our military being rebuilt. You take a look at the tax cuts. You take a look at the regulation cuts at levels that nobody's ever seen. We're protecting our Second Amendment, which other people won't do. No, we're doing things that nobody's ever done before, nobody's ever seen. We have the strongest economy in the history of our country, and our country is doing well. And you know, the other thing that I really saw from yesterday, that I think you people have been covering politics for a long time. You've never seen a Republican Party. 0 negative votes. 0. That hasn't happened almost ever, because the Republicans are not necessarily known for that. We have better policy. They want open borders, the Democrats. They want sanctuary cities. A lot of bad things happen, a lot of other things they have. We're doing tremendously on health care. The individual mandate, you know, we won yesterday in Supreme Court. You saw that in the appellate division. We won yesterday. Individual mandate is now gone. That's tremendous savings. That was the worst part of Obamacare. We take care of pre-existing conditions. They're not going to be able to do that. We're doing things that nobody's ever done before, and our country has never done better. So we're really happy about it, and we're really happy to have Jeff on board. And we think in 2020, based on the polls, I just saw a poll came out in USA Today yesterday where I'm beating every candidate by a lot. I guess most of you saw it. Not that USA Today is a friend of mine, because they're not. But they had a poll, and it was me against their top candidates on the other side. And I'm beating everybody by a lot. And I think that's where we're going. I mean, we have the best economy and history, and if you remember the famous quote, "It's all about the economy, stupid." Well, I never believed it was all about the economy, but the economy is a big thing. When you have 401ks where people are up 70, 80, 90, and even more than that percent, they like Trump, and they like Mike, and we're going to have a good time. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Your strategy for the Senate, sir? Can you tell us a little bit about your strategy for the Senate trial?
We think that what they did is wrong. We think that what they did is unconstitutional, and the Senate is very, very capable. We have great senators, Republican senators. We cut your taxes, we cut your regulations. We did things that nobody else would even think about being able to do. And I think, you know, one of the things, Jeff, that we've done that nobody wants to talk about, this week I will have signed the 172nd federal judge, including appellate judges. We'll have 182 by the end of the year. 182. It's unheard of. Now, President Obama was very nice to us. He gave us 142 empty positions. That's never happened before. But as you know, that's said to be the most important thing that a president has. I happen to think military and defense and all of is the most important thing. But this is right up there. We'll have 172 judges. We're going to have 182 by the end of the year or shortly thereafter. And it's the most incredible thing. And 2 Supreme Court justices, 2 great ones. So with all of the things we've done, and we've done that with the Senate, because what's never said is that in the last election, we picked up 2 Senate seats. Nobody talks about that. And we couldn't focus on the House. I couldn't focus on the House. We'll be very focused on the House this time. But I couldn't, other than Andy Barr, who won against the same candidate that's now going against Mitch, and she wasn't very good against Andy Barr, and she won't be very good against Mitch McConnell. But we've had tremendous success, so I'm going to let them decide what to do. That's going to be up to them. Thank you all very much. Thank you.